What's going on here, mate? Looks like an industrial accident's happened to this block.
Carving the top of this entire block away.
That's mental.
It is mental. Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Yeah, so mate, this is the 2.3 Eco Boom.
Yep.
Out of a Focus RS. And we are fitting the Darton Sleeves.
Big boys.
Big boys. So these are, what would they call these? Like a wet liner closed
like
deck.
Basically a
with,
wet liner closed deck conversion.
Basically. So the theory of these is to sort of turn it into a wet liner in effect. So you've got the big, thick, old, hefty ductile iron liner. Braced at the top with the water jacket sort of, I suppose, machined into the top there. So this all sort of braces up to the top of the block. This is all a slide fit with 3 O-rings there, and it sits on the base of the block. Better just stop this, mate. Only trouble is with machining these, you can't take your eye off it.
No, you can't.
And there's a lot to remember.
There is.
So this might look like I've completely butchered this block. You see I've done the first one there, mate.
Yeah.
But in fact, when the liner goes in there, it all looks how it should do. Look pretty trick, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
But yeah, quite a lot of machining, quite a lot of measurements to get correct.
Yeah.
And a lot to remember. You've got to do it in a specific order.
So what you're waiting for now is for that cutter to reach the step at the bottom there? Like that?
So the step at the bottom is crucial because that is where the liner's going to be sitting.
So that's where it actually
That's where the liner rests, yeah. So
that's what holds it up.
So what you do, we've got the drawing here, courtesy of Darton Sleeves on the website. They've got the drawings for all the liners.
Ideal.
So that is what you have to machine the block to. The bottom is a 1 thou, what they say is a 1 thou plus or minus a thou, sort of slide fit.
Yeah.
So that's a clearance, so it's basically a nice slide fit. You've got 3 very narrow rubber O-rings here. You've got also, they supply a flange sealant, okay, nice. Which is a 518 Loctite. So that slides in the base of the block, obviously sealed from the oil to water with these liners. You've got the flange there, which sits on the base of the block. This all here is clearance, so you machine that to 0.3 of an inch of clearance there. And that allows for the water to travel up and down and surround the liner. This here is a size-to-size fit in the block, so it's a nice slide fit again.
Yeah, right.
Well, they actually give a 2 thou clearance, plus or minus a thou, but we've done it a nice slide fit. And then you've got 2 liners with the flats either side and 2 with just a 1 flat, and they, again, like we did on the last job.
And then so,
sort of,
weren't you saying yesterday that the bottom of that,
so that doesn't sit in the block.
It almost looks like it would, because there's a bit of a seat for it there.
There's a bit. The only reason there's a bit of a seat is because I've done it. It tells you to do it at 0.425, so that measures 0.4.
Yeah.
So it's a 0.25 of an inch gap, really. And
right.
the whole point of that is so it doesn't foul on there, and you're making sure that it sits on there. That's the most important bit. So that fit there to the block is the most important. And then there's about 1 millimetre to come out of the bores once it's all in. So the way they tell you to fit them is fit them all in, clamp them, put them in with a 518, grease the O-rings. They give some specific grease for the O-rings. Clamp them in there, leave them for a day. And then we can face the block, bore it.
Right.
Job's a good one, mate.
Nice. So once that's all like being built up as an engine, those liners are basically just held in by the glue on the flange and the head, really. And the head, so the head is what is going to be pressing them down to the base of the block. Yeah. So just the same as a wet liner, really. Yeah. Big old conversion, really, isn't it? Yeah. Big job.
It is a big old job, mate.
We've had a visit this morning, haven't we?
We have. We've had a visit from the FER, a gentleman from the FER. Came to have a look around the place, give us some nice free gifts, like a couple of nice aluminium FER plaques to stick on the door.
Yep.
Because obviously we have joined the FER. I don't know whether we've even mentioned that, have we?
Maybe very briefly.
Well, if we haven't, we've joined the FER.
Yeah.
The advantage with the FER is, the main reason why we joined is because they are linked to logistics, which give you good advice on these warranty claims. So
being a member gives you free advice from them on.
It does indeed.
It's not like you've got a free lawyer, but it's if you've got a question, you can ask it, and they'll give you a straight answer as to where you stand.
That's right. Yeah, we've spoke to them already, and they've been very, very helpful, haven't they? So
yeah.
So that is the
plus
main.
Plus many other benefits as well.
Many other benefits.
Training courses and all that sort of thing.
Exactly. So yeah, we've had a visit from one of the guys from there. He's came and took some photos of us doing some machining.
Yeah.
And of the workshop for a newsletter, I think.
Yeah, I think he said.
So whether we're going to be featured in there.
Interesting.
All right, we don't keep our eye out for that. So it's all happening this year, isn't it?
Yeah.
Also with the FER, they did state that they've got a good...
It's like a programme for the
terms and conditions, yeah. So you sort of put in your own specific details, and it produces a proper terms and conditions for this, which is handy.
Probably a better way of doing it than having me just sort of write them out, but yeah.
So we'll have a look at that, mate. But getting it all sorted this year, aren't we?
Yeah.
For that sort of thing.
Making it all a bit more. Well, I've seen somebody in the comments saying if you just chip away at all the sort of running of the business and make it all run a bit more smoothly, then over time,
that's all we're looking for.
It's going to be really smooth and easy going, and even if there's a problem, we'll know how to deal with it, and we can get it done, dealt with. So
that's the idea of it, mate.
Yeah.
And I think we've achieved quite a lot this year, haven't we?
Yeah.
With the help from you, thank you very much.
It's all right, mate.
Well, I'd say not help. You've done most of it.
Don't know about
that. All I've done is have the is sort of develop the stress. So you've had to do it. But no, I'm really happy at the minute, mate. Same with the work. Like we seem to be getting in a rhythm. The website seems to be really working, doesn't it?
Yeah.
As far as the emails go.
Yeah, we get a lot of contact through there, and just organised a subscribers engine to come in all through that. So it's obviously serves a purpose, doesn't it? But
good job, you know what you're doing, isn't it? Really?
Huh?
Good job, you know what you're doing.
Well, just having a go, mate. Really.
Just having a go. That's all you can do, isn't it?
Yeah.
We also, while the guy from the FER was here, we've asked him to put a shout out for a new boring bar. So a boring bar is the next purchase we are going to be making.
Yeah. So going to be time to replace this old thing.
The reason is obviously this still does the trick, but it's getting on a bit now. Let's be honest.
Well, you've used that since you've been in here,
Well, this is probably
known it.
More than twice my age, I would say, this machine. It served its purpose, but we are doing quite a lot of boring and fitting liners these days, aren't we? So we need some sort of, I would say, not so much more accurate, but something that's a bit more efficient.
Yeah. Well, and the thing is, as well, with the modern stuff, you get less and less stuff that you can bore, and it's more. We seem to be getting more liner jobs.
Yeah.
Really, there's loads more liners than before.
Oh God, yeah.
And you either can't get oversized pistons, or the bores need, like that BMW you just done. It's obviously got a coating on the bore, so
this is the trouble.
You can't bore them, but.
No, we seem to be fitting a lot of liners now and stuff.
Yeah.
So,
and you need something efficient to be doing that, because it's a lot of work.
I love it though. I love fitting the old liners.
Yeah.
So yeah, new boring bar, state of the art job, I would say.
Yeah.
CNC would be nice.
I think he's going to put the chap who came down, I think he's going to put some feelers out amongst FER members for a new one, or a used one, a good used one or something.
Yeah, brilliant.
But yeah.
So that could be the next purchase, mate. Not so much fun around a track, but a bit
handling
more.
Not quite as good as a kit car on the old boring bar.
Probably, well, at the minute, probably
Well,
it would be.
yeah, maybe.
But yeah, it's about due, isn't it, I think.
Yeah.
So
you are doing a lot of boring now, so.
We are, yeah. So what I'm doing now is I've gone to 4.3 inch on the clearance for the inside, done the step, done the base, and now I'm just doing for the flange at the top there.
Right.
So we're going to be going 0.425 inch deep. So we've got a bit of clearance on the depth. And we'll go to 4.842 on the external.
Right, so you use the DTI.
So I'm going to use the DTI just to give me a better indication of the depth.
Yeah.
So I just set that up on 0 with the tool touching on the top of the block. When it gets to 0, so one revolution of that big needle there is 100 thou.
Yeah.
So that's 100. 200. 300. 425.
Nice.
So the only trouble is with this, with the depth, it's accurate to probably 5 or 10 thou.
Yeah.
So that's the only problem with it. But for something like this, it's perfect, really.
Well, and like you were saying yesterday, if it needs adjusting, you can do it on the mill and get it right.
Yeah, I mean, 5 or 10 thou is more than adequate for a lot of the stuff we do, because we normally leave them 5 or 10 thou proud anyway, the liners.
And that's only, like you said, it's only for that top part. So it doesn't sit down against that anyway, does it?
No.
So it needs clearance below it.
Exactly. But if
so it actually doesn't really matter too much.
No, but if we had to do a specific depth, exact,
yeah,
we'd be clocking it and doing it on the milling machine.
Yeah, yeah.
Which is obviously just another process, isn't it?
Yes.
So.
Yeah.
It sounds a little bit rough because that's because it's cutting. It's not cutting consistent.
No, it's cutting in.
It's cutting
lots of little places, but
lots of little places, and then having a break, and you've got sort of backlash in the machine, which is going clatter, clatter, clatter.
It doesn't sound too healthy, does it?
Not really, but
it's doing all right.
It's doing the job at the minute, mate.
Yeah.
Happy.
Happy man there.
Happy man.
You can see it in your face.
Really?
Yeah.
Not very often, is it?
Well, not so much recently, but, you know.
I'm all right. Sun's shining, mate.
Yeah.
I'm still here.
Need to get home.
I'm happy because you have got the kit car down, and we're making a start.
Made a little start.
So, jobs to be done on the kit car. Been here for nearly a year, this, isn't it?
It has.
We threw a little tantrum for 10 months, didn't we?
Yeah, we sort of... Yeah.
So, if you're new to the channel and you haven't watched the previous videos, we've swapped the engine on this. So it had an old Fireblade engine, a carburetted, which we loved. We had a whole year, trouble-free track action, but we thought we'll be clever and we'll put a fuel-injected Blackbird 1100 engine in it, which, in fairness, is a better engine.
Yeah, although it does have issues with oil surge, doesn't it? That's the only downside to it.
Well, that was the first problem we come across.
Yeah.
So if we head over this way, we overcome that by fitting a very expensive AccuSump system.
That big blue barrel there.
Yes, so that is an oil reservoir that is under constant pressure.
It even is under pressure now, even though the car's been sat for 10 months.
It is, and it's held pressure for 10 months, hasn't it?
40 psi.
Exactly.
Not bad.
So we have got a manual. You can get an electric contraption, but we've got a manual. So when we get going, we manually open this up, and if the oil pressure drops below X amount, this sort of charges and pushes oil into the engine while it's surging.
So that hose there goes
straight into
the main gallery down there.
It does indeed.
So yeah, the second it's not getting any oil through the pickup, it just shoves it all out of there, doesn't it?
It does.
And pushes it straight into the main gallery.
So,
and then afterwards it recharges itself as well?
It does, yeah. So first of all, I used the car at Castle Coombe, did a couple of laps.
Yeah.
Cornering pretty much like we normally do, and I had the AccuSump turned off on one of the laps, and it didn't seem to surge. So
hopefully not, no,
it's a belt and braces thing.
Yeah.
But once it's on, chances are, hopefully it'll be all right.
You've just got the. It's a bit difficult filling it up with oil, isn't it, when you're doing oil change?
It is, yeah.
Because you've obviously got extra capacity in there.
That's right.
So you've got to sort of fill it up, run it, check the level again.
Charge the system.
Yeah, charge the system.
And fill the engine up, make sure the engine oil level is correct when this is fully charged.
Yes,
that holds about 2 litres, doesn't it?
Yeah, so it increases the capacity and a
yeah,
little bit more challenging, but
so we put a whole new fuel system on it, fuel pump, all the rest, because obviously it's EFI now. But it seems to run really nice. The engine's dead nice and smooth, quiet.
And we've obviously got this big old airbox contraption.
Big old ram air system.
Because we were advised that they run better with an airbox.
They do indeed. And it does run lovely, I must admit. The only problem with it was, for those 2 laps, we had a terrible vibration. So we have now discovered the reason, and that is what we're setting about doing now. So the prop shaft, with the old engine, the drive was a couple of inches lower, so it was pretty much in line with the diff.
Yeah,
so the system that was on it
was pretty straight at that point.
It sort of worked. There was a bit of a vibration, but we just put it down to being the nature of what it is.
Yeah.
But actually not. It's a bit of a design flaw. So we have been in touch with Northwest Prop Shafts.
Yep.
A chap called Michael there. Very, very helpful.
Very
Michael actually got in touch with me 10 months ago when we had this problem, saying that one of his colleagues watches our channel, and he's seen that we've got this problem and they think they know how to help. But it turns out that they've actually recently done a YouTube video on this particular problem. So I'll probably put the link for that in the description below, so you can go and have a look. Michael can explain it a bit better than me. But it turns out that the rear section is still in the car. So if we take it here, the rear section, you've got the diff here. Now, the current setup with ours is we've got a UJ in front of the rear diff, a UJ here before the donut, then here's the donut there, so that's the UJ. Then it's solid with one UJ on the front piece going to the engine. So basically, if you can imagine this being fixed and this in line with the diff, this is pulled up. So the diff, you can see what's happening.
It's basically putting lots of pressure on the donut and also creating a big vibration sort of there.
Exactly.
And,
so Michael suggests we have one UJ at the back, solid into the into the donut from here.
Yeah.
So that's all in line with the diff. Then you have a UJ here, a UJ there, and the sliding piece here. The sliding piece has to be in the middle.
Our sliding piece was this end, wasn't it?
The sliding piece has to be in the middle of the part with the 2 UJs that is on an angle. And the reason for that is, although when it's moving, the thing is actually moving forwards and backwards.
Yeah, it just gives it that extra movement,
So what's been happening with this is, one, it's twisting the donut, which is putting this back bit out of line.
Yeah.
So this is going to be vibrating. Plus, this is going to be pushing that donut in and out.
Yeah.
And what's caused that? What's happened there is it's snapped these bolts
in the flange there,
off the flange of the gearbox,
and
flapped
also
around. Yeah. Took out the slave cylinder for the clutch.
Took out a fuel line. Took a
fuel line out.
Like gear selector.
Apart from that. So
very luckily, it didn't latch onto all these wires and rip them out.
Well, even more luckily, it didn't go through the side and take my legs off.
That man is lucky to have ankles.
I am. So basically, I've been in touch with Michael today, and he is been very helpful, and he sent me pictures. We've identified the flanges from the gearbox of the engine and the flange of the diff.
Yeah.
We've also identified that as a Sierra donut. So he's going to fit one of those. He's going to make us a complete new prop shaft at the correct length. And he is going to, the rear end of it is going to be a torsion type, which they do suggest putting in the bike. So that is an inner and outer steel tube with rubber bonded.
Bit like a harmonic dampener on the front of an engine.
Basically what it is. He said they're good for the bike engines because the bike engines aren't very powerful or torquey really. He said up to about over 220 horsepower.
So it ain't going to rip the thing apart, but it will give you that dampening
That's
effect.
right, yeah. So I'm really happy we've got that sorted, mate. We ain't even got to send this old one off. I've sent in the dimensions on order.
Lovely.
So next thing we've got to do, we'll get that rear bit of prop out.
Yeah.
We'll get the car up to Tom. Tom's got to repair a little bit on the engine that broke off that holds the slave cylinder.
A little bit of damage down there, wasn't there?
Yeah, the clutch was very nasty before. It was a bit on and off, and I suspect that we may have a sticky, iffy clutch. So I've ordered I've ordered an uprated clutch kit.
Well, we've got to get that cover off anyway because the gear selector is bent on the end. So
it is, and that comes out from the front.
End, yeah,
so this is the slave cylinder that we're using, so we've just got to sort of replicate that. And then basically, that's it really, isn't it?
Yeah. It's not that much work, but it's just finding the time to do it and get it down to Tom and all the rest of it. So.
I'm happy we've made a start, mate. As soon as we get that prop back and Tom's finished, we're going to be booking a track day and getting out in it.
May as well.
Over the moon.
Yep.
Got to start enjoying this year, mate.
We do. We didn't do anything last year.
Nothing
After
last
this
year,
thing
but get
died,
stressed out.
After this thing died, we didn't do anything.
Bugger all.
Didn't even try.
So yeah, kit car's coming alive again. Can't wait. Got the bug.
Yeah.
I'm happy. Sun's out.
Sun's out. Let's get out on track, innit?
That's it. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. See you in the next one.